Hello, welcome back to the Wacky Wonders of the World podcast and video for those of you who are watching at home. I'm your host, Gavin. I'm joined here today by a great panel to talk about some wacky laws and to maybe narrow down what is the wackiest law that we could find. I'm joined here by Leah. Leah, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Chris, how are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Christian, you bring some wacky laws?
I brought some really wacky laws, Gavin.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to it. And Jose, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, so we're going to go through all these laws. We'll stop, we'll talk about them, give whatever we think about them, and then hopefully we'll be able to narrow it down to the wackiest law. Not even just in the U.S., we've got some international ones, so maybe in the world, at least that we could find on these sketchy websites. Chris, why don't you start us off?
If you're in Massachusetts and you have a milk carton and you have a Sharpie and you put the two together, that's a $10 fine. It's illegal to deface a milk carton in Massachusetts. And the reason behind that was there was a rogue group of underground milkmen that used to roam around the state, and they would deface milk cartons. So the state was like, we got to put a stop to this. So they just made it a $10 fine.
Yeah. I wonder how many people were doing graffiti to milk cartons before they were like how long was that rogue group going on? That's what I wonder.
I couldn't find the information of that, but it must have been a while ago because $10 is really little.
Yeah, someone's got to have that information. Leah, why don't you kick it off? What do you got for us?
So in New York State, it's illegal to transport an ice cream cone in one's pocket on a Sunday. Now, the origin behind this law is still unclear, but apparently once upon a time, someone reportedly strolled through Manhattan with an ice cream cone in their pocket, causing untold mischief. Now, the mischief is not clearly stated, but the act was apparently enough to create this law. Therefore, you may not have an ice cream cone in your back pocket on a Sunday. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's so specific. Like, does it apply just ice cream cones? What about like people who get them in cups or like popsicles? Like, I wonder like other sweet treats, how would that apply to the back pocket law? I don't know. I found a really weird law in Baltimore, Maryland. It is illegal to take a lion to the movies. Now, I have a few questions. One, why would you take a lion to the movies? Second of all, what movie did someone take a lion to? And when did they decide, you know what, maybe lions aren't right for movies? Like, did someone take a lion to, like, The Notebook, and they were like, it's not right? Or was it, like, The Avengers? Like, I'm curious what kind of movie they thought the lion would like. Or Lion King. Maybe it was Lion King. That makes much more sense than The Notebook. Christian, what do you got for us?
So in New York City, it's illegal to keep more than $10 that you find on the street, which is really weird because I feel like if you just find money on the street that you don't know where it came from, it should just be yours to keep because, finders keepers, I guess,
Yeah, I wonder if that's more of like if you find $1, you can keep it. $5, keep it. $10, you can keep it. But if you find $11, do you have to turn all 11 back or just like one? Like if you find $200, can you keep like 10 of those dollars? Or like if I go up to Chris and I go, oh, Chris, did you lose $12 on the street? And you're like, yeah. I go, oh, well, I couldn't find the 12, but here's 2 of them back.
Here's 2 of them.
Here's 2 of them. I don't know who took the other 10. I mean, there might be someone should make a law about that. Jose, coming from an international side, what's a wacky law that you found?
Well, in Denmark, apparently, you can only name your newborn one of 7,000 government-approved names, which sounds very Big Brother-ish, but apparently the reasoning behind this is there was an uptick in apparent newborns which are just named weird names. And so they published a list, and it's I think 3,000 for males and 4,000 for females. But the thing about this is they're not like super different names, like it's not like, for example, like Tom and John and what else, Paul, Michael, and so on. It's very slight. There's slight variations of a name pronunciation. So I tried looking for my name, Joseph, and you can find Yusuf, which is like with a Josef, so like the Russian, and you can find it with a U too, so it's Yusuf, and so it goes on and on and on. It's just different ways to pronounce a single name. So I think they were just trying to like fill it in after a while.
Get the word count.
Yeah, they're like after
so
5,500 names, they're like, I'm running out of names.
Yeah. I wonder if it's just like 2,999 versions of the name Robert, and then Tom. Like that's it. That's all you got. Chris, you got any other wacky laws for us? As you only told one.
Yeah.
What's something else
so
you
this
got?
this is
I don't know why I
outside.
phrased it like that.
This is
Go ahead,
outside of
sorry.
Massachusetts. But in Reno, Nevada, it's illegal to own any type of sex toy. So you can't sell it, you can't buy it, you can't own it. And I want to know why that why that happened.
Yeah, I want to
how
know
they enforce it,
who's.
if they have like a border checkup and they just like check under the car, if they have like
Yeah, do they have like
tires.
police dogs like sniffing for dildos? Like, I want to know why. How are they able to do that? Leah, what do you got for us?
So I have one. In Beacon, New York, it is illegal to own or operate a pinball machine. Now, it's kind of a big thing because in Beacon, New York, there are no arcades since they are banned. And where are you going to find pinball machines? In arcades. Yeah. But if a person is caught playing a pinball machine, they are subject to jail time or a fine of $1,000 per day for breaking this law. That's a lot.
I wonder, like, how would you, like, if it's in your house, how are you gonna get caught? Like, unless you put it on your patio, like, out back. Like,
Well,
how are
pinball
people
There's
machines
a
gonna?
are
hopper
pretty
just walking
loud.
by.
Because,
That's
like, I
really,
can hear
Like,
mine from
stop.
my basement. So they're very loud.
yeah, that's really, really weird. I found another animal lot coming straight out of New Orleans, Louisiana, which isn't all too
Ooh.
surprising. But you may not tie an alligator to a fire hydrant in New Orleans, Louisiana. So, don't know what the deal with that is. How
There's
that
a story
happened.
behind that, yeah.
There's definitely a story there, and I want someone to tell it. Christian, what do you got for us?
This is another one in New York City. If you're a barber and you're giving haircuts on a Sunday, then you can get up to a $5 fine and a misdemeanor charge. So, I mean, this is pretty weird because I feel like even if you do, like, $5 isn't, obviously it's not obviously not that much, but if it's illegal, then why do it on Sunday? Just do it like any other day of the week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like why not just
respect the day of the Lord.
charge more? Well, I mean, if you're getting your hair cut, then that's less hair you're closer to God. So I don't understand what the
Yeah,
problem
exactly.
is.
Well, but
Yeah.
It's charge
about the
more on
money?
Sundays.
about sending a message.
It's about sending a message. Jose, do you have any other international laws for us?
Yeah, in this French town of I'm gonna butcher this, Châteauneuf-du-Pape in France.
I think that's something like that. I don't think
I
that's
hope
wrong.
so.
Good job.
Apparently, because I don't speak French.
Maybe.
UFOs cannot land or take off. So the reasoning behind this is this is a 60-something-year-old law. So this has been around for a while. The reasoning behind this is that apparently somewhere around that time, they started to believe that there was sort of like a hotspot for UFO sightings, UFO. And so, yeah, so they banned it. They were like, no, you know what? We're not going to have any of that. They're not going to land here. They're not going to take off. No one's going to house them. They're not going to be here. So they
Do
just
aliens
banned
have
it.
rights? Like, you can't house them.
I don't know at this point. Is that considered racism? That probably. I don't know.
Bro, I wonder how are they going to enforce that law? Like, are they going to have like those up sticks at the park being like, no, you can't land here. You have to go to the next town over. Like, park on the street. Like, no
You're
parking
walking
here.
back to your ship and you see it gets towed.
Exactly.
Jesus.
That's
Killing a UFO.
yeah. All right. Well, I think we're getting pretty down to it. What are you guys' favorites so far? I really like Leah, your ice cream one in the back pocket. I can't stop thinking about that one. That one's really. I'm still unclear about like what that untold mischief was. Do you guys have any other favorites so far?
I think your animal ones are really funny so far. I just think, where are you going to see an alligator tied to a fire hydrant? Like, what would that look like?
Definitely a story there. What about
Also
you guys?
the ice cream one too, because when it says untold mischief and they don't say what it was, like it just makes me think, what was that thing that he was doing with an ice cream cone in his pocket?
Yeah, it does make sense. Christian, you got a favorite so far?
Yeah, the alligator one and the fire hydrant is definitely one of my favorites. And honestly, like all your animal laws, like the lion in the movies and the bear wrestling, like I thought that was.
Oh, I haven't gotten to the bear wrestling one yet. You're spoiling
It's a
it.
preview. That's a preview.
We'll get-
Don't worry.
I'll just say that one now then quickly. In Alabama, bear wrestling matches are prohibited. So that leads me to wonder how many bear wrestling matches happened before they were like, this isn't a good idea. You should go to the next state over to do
Do they have a
this.
tournament there?
I have no idea. Is it like a bracket setup? I'm
Yeah.
very curious. How do the bear
Like
wrestling matches
the
go?
brown bear versus Ursa. You know,
Yeah, do they
freaking
fight different types of bears?
Hey,
Are they
you
like
watch
we,
a
we
match?
shipped in? We got this polar bear in first class. He's gonna beat you guys up.
Yeah.
Like I said, Jose, you got any favorite laws so far?
Definitely, I gotta go with the ice cream cone one, mainly because I don't find a way to understand it. Like, is it a filled ice cream cone? Like, you know, like, or is it just the bread
Just the
ice cream
cone.
cone? Just the cone?
Yeah,
To go.
I don't know.
On a
That's
Sunday.
very
Sunday.
Breaks.
interesting. All right, so I think we all only have a few left. So Leah, what is your last law that you'd like to share with us?
So my last law is that it's illegal for a pickle not to bounce in Connecticut. See, pickles that do not bounce are considered unfit for human consumption. A Connecticut man was arrested and fined $500 for selling pickles that did not bounce since they were unfit.
Yeah, that's coming from someone who's from Connecticut. That does sound like a very Connecticut type of thing that would happen. People here are very particular about their pickles. Yes, I'll toss in one more. This one also is coming out of Connecticut. You can be stopped by police for biking over 65 miles per hour. I think if you're biking over 65 miles an hour, you should get a medal because that is fast.
I didn't know bikes could go that fast.
Mad quads, man.
Oh.
Mad quads.
Yeah,
Sprinter.
is our burning. Christian, do you have any more laws left for us?
I have a few more, and they're all about fishing. In
Oh,
Tennessee, it's
beautiful.
illegal.
Thank God.
In Tennessee, it's illegal to use a lasso to catch a fish, and this is guided under the Wildlife Justice Commission. So it just says, like, you know, people can't catch fish in that kind of way. And also,
Yeah.
it probably goes for the same in Indiana and Kentucky, because in Indiana, it's illegal to catch a fish with your bare hands, and in Kentucky, it's illegal to catch a fish with a bow and arrow. So, you know, those are on two different levels, but the one in Kentucky is definitely a pretty graphic way to catch fish, I think.
I think what they're really trying to do with those laws is just stop people from reaching their full potential, because catching a fish with a lasso, bare hands, and a bow and arrow, like that's like next level. They just want to stop people from succeeding. That's what I think. Jose, do you have any other ones? Oh yeah, I think you got one more, right?
Yeah. Apparently, it is illegal to run out of gas in the German autobahn. So the reasoning behind this is the German autobahn, which is like the highway that connects the whole country together. It's got like 3 lanes, and each one has a certain speed limit, except the last one, which it doesn't at all.
Oh.
You can just floor it, and police are not going to say a thing. And apparently, if you run out of gas, you run into the risk of other people crashing into you at tremendously high speeds.
Oof.
And yeah, so the Germans believe that if you have a car, you can pay for the gas. So
Wow.
apparently you cannot walk to one either. So if you run out of gas and you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, it's jail time, buddy. You're going to jail. Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah, because you cannot, it's illegal to walk to them too.
That makes me wonder, like, if you, like, imagine being in the left lane and thinking, oh, this guy in front of me is going so slow. He's only going 100 miles an hour. Like, he's not going, how am I stuck behind this guy going
He's not
120
flooring
miles an hour? Why isn't he going faster? That just sounds
Yeah.
like the most, just fast people problems, I guess. And now, Chris, you have the last law that we're going to talk about today. And honestly, I think this might be my favorite. I think this might be the biggest law. Chris, tell
So-
us this law to Utah.
The only thing that makes sense about this law is the fact that it comes out of Utah.
Yes.
It's illegal to detonate a nuclear bomb, but it's legal to have one. You just can't detonate it. And I tried to find something about this. I found one source that said that they allow nuclear testing for medical reasons and for like energy research. And I guess they made it public for, you know, corporations, but they also just, I guess, made it a general law that you could have a nuclear bomb. Just don't detonate them.
Yeah.
Don't do
Wow.
that.
That's
You
just,
can't just go boom.
it's so specific. And I just love that you can have it. And also, like, out of all states, Utah, like,
Yeah.
what are they up to? No one talks about Utah. Like, I guess they're
Doesn't
just trying to
fall
store nuclear
in
bombs.
Utah.
Yeah. I mean, gun safety is already an issue. Now we got to worry about nuclear bombs. Like, people getting their hands on that. What a wacky world we live in. All right, so quickly going through it. Let's go through some top laws. I think personally, nuclear bomb has got to be one of my favorites. And also right behind that, I think the ice cream cone in the back pocket. Like you were saying, Jose, is it a full ice cream cone? Like, is there a maximum amount of scoops, minimum amount of
Yeah.
scoops? Like, if you have like half a scoop, is that allowed? Does that change things?
What if the
What if
cone
it's
is broken?
What if it's in your front pocket? Or the back pocket? Is there a difference? I don't really know. Leah, what about you? What are some favorites from today?
The Utah one is definitely my favorite, and I love those animal laws. I think they just had to come from somewhere, so those are my top two.
Definitely a story. Chris, what about you? What do you think about these laws?
I was gonna say the ice cream cone, but the pickle bouncing one, the illegal for a pickle not to bounce, because I wonder who are they gonna charge? Are they gonna charge the pickle, or are they gonna charge the person selling the pickle for being unable to bounce?
That's a really good question. Christian, what
Pickles
about
on a
you?
rap sheet.
Yeah, I think the nuclear bomb one is definitely the weirdest one in my opinion. And also, again, all your animal ones, I'm just really curious about how all those became laws, you know.
Yeah, there's definitely something had to happen. I want to know if it happened once or multiple times. How many times does something have to happen for it to become a law in a whole state? Jose, let's close it out. What do you think? What are some of your faves from today?
I'm definitely stuck between the ice cream cone and the nuclear bomb. I don't know which one is even weirder than the other one. So I'm gonna have to go with the nuclear bomb just because of how outrageous it is, you know. Like if you have a bomb but you don't have the detonator, you're good to go. Perfect. You're fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, definitely some weird laws today. Well, this has been Wacky Wonders of the World, Wacky Laws edition. Thank you guys so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, stay tuned for next week's episode where we talk about wacky catchphrases and wacky ways to end a podcast. This has been Wacky Wonders of the World. See you next week. Have a good one.